Hi Pisces, I am the Tarot Angel and welcome to your 2021 reading. Today I'm going to be using the Rider Tarot deck as well as these compassion cards, Buddhist teachings for awakening the heart in everyday life. I'm going to be pulling 12 cards from the Rider deck to represent each month in 2021, and I'm going to pull one compassion card to sum up any lesson you need to learn in the year of 2021. I'm also going to be pulling some numbers to represent significant dates in the year 2021. This reading is for Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Let's get into your reading. So for January, you have the Five of Cups in reverse. In January, you are receiving some type of loss. It could be financially, or it could be someone in your life or something in your life. I'm hearing it's more on the financial side or on the material side rather than someone in your life, but it also could be someone that provided a lot of finances and materials for you. For February, we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. You're having a conflict with your family about finances. In February, you view this as just a small conflict, even though it is actually a problem. It's treated just as a small conflict, a conversation or some type of argument about finances. I feel like someone's asking you to change your materialistic ways, asking you to spend money a little more cautiously, especially after this loss. But you don't take this seriously. You are oblivious to how serious this conflict actually is. You are viewing this situation as a small loss. You're unaware of how it will affect you in the future in the month of February. In the month of March, you have the King of Swords upright. Even though you're in a financial conflict and you've faced some type of financial loss, you are still keeping up your image as someone who has a lot of finances. Your image is very important to you. You're very controlling of your image, extremely controlling of your image. You only allow people what you want them to see. So even though you're going through a financial loss, to people who aren't in your family or aren't in your household, you're the King of Swords. You keep that image up. Because you are keeping up this King of Swords energy, you are spending a lot of money on materials that you could afford before this loss, but you can't afford after this loss. And because in the month of March you're spending a lot of money on materials and living a lifestyle that you can't afford after this financial loss, this conflict turns into a financial need in the month of April. You need to prioritize your finances at this time. In January and February, it was just a conflict, but because that conflict wasn't taken seriously and you were still trying to control your image and live up to this King of Swords image of you, your financial conflict turned into a financial need. A financial need where in the month of May, you're taking on a lot of jobs and you're highly stressed because you are working a lot and you're taking on a lot of burdens from the way you acted. Because this conflict turned into a financial need in the month of April, in May, you are doing a lot of self-reflection on how you spend your money and how you're so controlling over your image. You're realizing those things about yourself because you're going through this financial need. You're becoming more self-aware. The month of June is a struggle financially, but you do get through it. In June, you're going through a lot of financial hardships. You're trying to get out of the cold, or if you're in debt, you're trying to get out of debt. These financial hardships feel like they are taking forever to solve or get out of. You're putting in a lot of work, but it's taking a lot of time to get out of this stage of financial need. For the month of July, you have the Emperor in reverse. You are not a reliable source of income for yourself or for your family in the month of July. The jobs that you are taking on in the month of May are not reliable jobs. They're not very stable jobs. Potentially, this loss that you had in January was a loss of a job. And that job was stable and reliable. And these jobs that you take on in the month of May are not reliable and they're very unpredictable. Your efforts to get out of this stage of financial need work, but they're not long lasting and they're not reliable. They work for short term, but they are not long term jobs. They will not They are not stable enough to be long-term careers or long-term sources of income or stable sources of income. In the month of August, you have the Six of Swords upright. So you are moving on from this stage of financial need. I do see that. You could potentially be moving on from these unreliable jobs, but I'm strongly getting that you're coming out of that place of financial need and you're becoming more financially stable. For the month of September, you have the Nine of Pentacles upright. You're moving out of this place of financial need into a place of prosperity and financial comfort. Even though these jobs were very unpredictable, you are able to come out of them extremely prosperous to the point where you're thinking about maybe a long vacation or even retirement, or one of these jobs that you are working in the month of May, you quit those or stop working at those because this extremely unpredictable source of income was able to bring you immense prosperity. So you stop working so much. For the month of October, you have the Seven of Swords upright. After you went through this financial need starting in the month of April, you became extremely self-aware, which is why this unpredictable job still brought you prosperity, because you were self-aware and you were not caring about your image at that time. You weren't trying to keep up with this King of Swords image. You were working hard not to have money to keep up your image, but to have money for the things that you actually need and to take care of your family or take care of yourself. But in the month of October, you rebel against that. You go back to trying to keep up this image because in September, you became extremely prosperous, so you went back to this very materialistic habits of yours and trying to keep up this image of someone who has a lot of money. You start spending your money on materialistic things in the month of October. And in November, this causes a lot of conflict in your family or in your friend group or within yourself. There's a lot of conflict with how quick you switched up from someone who was very self-aware and was using their money for things that they actually need and taking care of things that they actually need. And the Nine of Pentacles definitely spends money on things that they want, but they're not extremely materialistic, like this King of Swords energy. But because you revert back to that, there's a lot of conflict in your life. It could be external, but it could also be internal because you became self-aware during the first half of the year and you switched up really quickly. So now spiritually and internally, you're extremely confused and conflicting with yourself. For December, you have the moon in reverse. So this conflict and this switch of priorities and you reverting back to caring about your image causes a lot of emotional trauma to come up, and this conflict is extremely emotional. It's an extremely sensitive topic. And you're going through a lot of emotions in the month of December. So this conflict does not just involve anger. It involves anger, sadness, frustration. It involves a lot of emotions. Pisces, it's important for you to not care about your image and not try to live up to an image that you've created for yourself. It's especially an image about finances and knowledge and wisdom. But most of all, finances. You can be wise and intelligent even if you are struggling financially. I'm strongly hearing that you put finances and intelligence or wisdom on the same level of importance when it's not. And you really care about your image. You are always trying to live up to your image, and you're very controlling of your image. You never want someone to see you struggling, not even your family. It's hard for you to admit you're struggling even to yourself, but this financial need causes you to do that, and you become extremely self-aware because you go through a period of time where you reflect on how you've been treating your finances and this image. You reflect on this image and how controlling you are of it, but at the end of the year, you go back to being that way. And it causes a lot of conflict in your life when you were just at an amazing place financially because you were self-aware. It's extremely important for you to practice self-awareness. I'm hearing that being self-aware gets rid of suffering for you guys. Next, I'm going to pull some significant dates for 2021. We have August and July. For dates, we have the 12th, the 25th, and the 1st. This could be July for any of these dates, October for any of these dates, or August for any of these dates. Next, I'm going to read you your compassion card. You got number 45. It says, take on the 3 principal causes. The 3 principal causes that allow us to put these teachings into practice are a qualified teacher, a mind that turns toward awakening in supportive circumstances. This card is highlighting a mind that turns toward awakening because when you are self-aware, you are extremely prosperous. I understand that finances are extremely important to you. You might be the supporter in your household or have to become the supporter of your household because you lost the person who provided most of the support for the household. Or you're coming into some independence where you have to support yourself. The best way to be fulfilled financially for you is to be self-aware and to not give in to this image that you've created for yourself. This image does not matter. It's an image that you control. You are extremely controlling of how people see you. You don't let people see what you don't want them to see, and you need to let go of that. The people who truly love you and will truly be there for you will like you despite of your image. So your image is not important. Self-awareness is more important. And it provides you great prosperity, so why wouldn't you want to be self-aware? At the end of the year, try to catch yourself reverting back to these ways where you're satisfying this image, where you're feeding into this image. Try to catch yourself doing that and stop yourself from doing that, because karma is going to come at you very quickly if you feed into this image. Pisces, that was your 2021 reading. I hope it resonated with you. If it didn't, please check out my other 2021 readings that correspond with another placement of yours. Please like this video and comment down below on any suggestions of readings I should do in the future. Please subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would want to see more. I hope you guys have a great day or night, and Happy New Year.